picture this. You've just spent, honestly, like a small fortune on your sleep setup.
Oh, yeah, we've all been there.
Right. You've got the premium mattress that costs as much as a used car.
Yep.
You've installed the blackout curtains to block out the street lights. You've got the breathable cooling sheets, the perfectly calibrated thermostat.
Probably one of those high-tech smart rings, too.
Exactly. Tracking your every breath and heartbeat. So you do everything right. You clock your solid 8 hours. And yet the alarm goes off and you wake up with a stiff neck, a dull headache, and just this overwhelming, sinking feeling that you are still just fundamentally exhausted.
It is an incredibly frustrating scenario, and frankly, well, it happens to almost everyone at some point.
It really does.
People optimize every single environmental variable in their bedroom, treating sleep like it's a math equation. But they are still waking up feeling like they spent the night in a wrestling match.
Which is wild. So, for today's deep dive, we are getting into the absolute most overlooked sleep essential in your entire bedroom. We're taking a hard look at the actual biomechanics of ergonomic sleep alignment.
And exploring the engineering behind a very specific product we found in our sources, the Derila Memory Foam Pillow.
Right. Because honestly, understanding the physical mechanics of what happens to the human head overnight, it completely shifted how I view my own bed.
Oh, for sure.
Okay, let's unpack this. Obsessing over a fancy mattress and, the perfect room ambient noise while continuing to sleep on an old, flat, worn-out pillow.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
It is literally like buying a state-of-the-art $10,000 computer, putting it on a beautiful mahogany desk, and then pulling up a cracked plastic lawn chair to sit and use it.
That is a perfect analogy.
You are ruining the entire premium experience because the foundational support at your most vulnerable point of contact is completely broken.
Yeah, and what's fascinating here is this glaring double standard between our daytime ergonomics and our nighttime ergonomics.
Oh, daytime versus nighttime. Okay, tell me about that.
Just think about the lengths we go to during our waking hours. I mean, people easily spend $1,000 on specialized ergonomic office chairs with lumbar support.
Right, the standing desks, the monitor, right?
Exactly, ergonomic keyboards. We are hyper aware of how our spine, our neck, and our wrists are supported while we are, just answering emails.
Yeah.
But then we transition to spending roughly 1/3 of our entire lives in bed, and we completely abandon all of that anatomical logic. We just throw a generic sack of stuffing under our heads and hope for the best.
1/3 of your life.
Yeah.
That is an insane amount of time to ignore your spine.
It really is.
So I want you, the listener, to do a quick mental audit of your own morning routine today.
Yeah, think about this morning.
When you dragged yourself out of bed, did you have tension sitting high up in your shoulders? Did you have to stretch out a sharp kink in your neck?
Or maybe a morning headache originating from the base of your skull.
Yes. Or even that weird, lingering numbness, tingling down your arm.
Ugh, the worst.
Because if you checked any of those boxes, you were experiencing the exact physical consequences of this ignored biomechanical failure.
And those symptoms aren't just random morning grogginess. I mean, a morning headache or a tingling arm is the direct physical manifestation of a structural collapse happening while you sleep.
Wow. Structural collapse.
Yeah. The nerves running from your cervical spine down through your shoulders are actively being compressed.
Which brings us to a massive blind spot in standard mainstream sleep advice. If you search online right now for how to sleep better, you get the exact same generic checklist on every single wellness blog.
Every single one. Buy a better mattress.
Lower the room temperature to 65 degrees.
Avoid blue light an hour before bed.
Right. Use a white noise machine. Take a magnesium supplement. And look, those are great for downregulating your nervous system to help you fall asleep.
Absolutely. They have their place.
But I have to push back on that standard advice for a second. If poor sleep posture is causing acute physical pain, a cool breeze and some soothing ocean sounds aren't going to fix a misaligned spine.
Exactly. The standard advice treats sleep merely as a neurological state of unconsciousness. Like, the assumption is that if we can just turn the brain off, the body will automatically be fine.
Right, just power down and you're good.
But sleep is fundamentally a physical posture. It is a prolonged static posture that requires mechanical support just as much as sitting at a desk does.
And the body is definitely not fine when you look at the sheer physics of the human head. This is the detail from the research that completely reframed this whole topic for me.
Oh, the weight of the head.
Yes. The average adult human head weighs around 10 to 12 pounds.
It's surprisingly heavy.
10 to 12 pounds. That is the exact weight of an average bowling ball. Let's visualize that for a second. If you have to balance a 12-pound bowling ball on a delicate, flexible stick.
Meaning your neck.
Right? Your neck, for 8 continuous hours, you cannot just lay it down on a flat surface and expect it to stay perfectly aligned.
Gravity doesn't stop working just because you closed your eyes.
Exactly. You need genuine structural support. Otherwise, that stick is going to snap under the pressure.
Well, anatomically, the neck is incredibly complex. It's made up of 7 delicate cervical vertebrae,
Okay.
and they're surrounded by this complex web of muscles, ligaments, and tendons. So during sleep, your cervical spine relies entirely on whatever is underneath your head to maintain a neutral alignment.
Because you're not actively holding it up anymore.
Right. If that 12-pound weight isn't properly supported, it doesn't just rest there harmlessly. If your pillow is too flat, your head tilts downward. If it's too high, it's jammed upward.
Ouch.
In either scenario, your neck and shoulder muscles, specifically the trapezius and the levator scapulae, they're forced to actively tense up and compensate all night long.
Just to stabilize your heavy skull.
Yes, to stabilize the skull and protect your spinal cord.
Wait. So instead of shutting down, your muscles are essentially working the night shift.
That's the reality of it, which raises an important question. What does it actually mean to, quote-unquote, relax in bed?
Wow. Yeah.
You probably assume you are resting because your eyes are closed, your breathing has slowed down, and you are dreaming. But if your muscles are engaged in a microscopic, continuous tug of war for 7 or 8 hours?
Just to keep that 12-pound weight from collapsing your airway or pinching a nerve.
Exactly. If that's happening, your physical body is never fully resting. It is locked in an isometric hold.
That perfectly explains the still tired phenomenon. You lie in bed for 8 hours, the sleep app on your phone gives you a high score.
Like a 95% sleep quality.
Right. But you wake up feeling like you ran a marathon. Because, mechanically speaking, your neck muscles kind of did.
They absolutely did. And this is why comfort is incredibly misunderstood in the context of sleep. We treat comfort as a luxury, like plush hotel robes or high thread count sheets.
Yeah, like it's a spa day.
But biologically, comfort is a strict requirement for physical recovery. When your muscles are tense and your alignment is off, it creates subtle, localized physical discomfort.
But not enough to actually wake you up, right? Because people swear they sleep through the night.
That is the insidious part. This discomfort usually isn't severe enough to make you fully open your eyes and sit up.
Okay.
Instead, it causes what neurologists call microarousals.
Microarousals.
Yeah. Your brain senses the muscle strain, pulls you out of the deep restorative stages of delta wave sleep, and shifts you into lighter sleep just so you can subtly adjust your body to relieve the pressure.
And you're completely oblivious to it.
Totally oblivious. You don't remember waking up, but your sleep architecture has been completely fractured.
Wow.
You are being micro-awakened by your own poor posture dozens of times a night, completely denying your body the deep recovery phase it desperately needs to repair tissue and consolidate memory.
Okay, so if the head is this heavy, dense bowling ball, and our neck muscles desperately need to clock out and rest to achieve deep sleep, we have to look at what is going wrong with the traditional pillows almost everyone uses.
Yeah, let's look at the baseline.
Because walk into any bedroom right now, and you are going to see a generic, fluffy, rectangular pillow on the bed.
Right. And the primary issue with the traditional rectangular pillow is inevitable structural failure. The design itself isn't based on human anatomy.
What is it based on?
It's based on manufacturing convenience.
Oh, of course.
It's easy to sew a rectangle and stuff it with feathers or cheap polyester fiberfill. But over time, and usually very quickly, those materials simply degrade. They compress, and they migrate outward under the repetitive, concentrated weight of a 12-pound head.
Oh, anyone listening knows exactly what that degradation feels like. Because it leads to that frustrating nighttime dance we all do.
The nighttime dance.
You know the one, you wake up slightly too hot, so you flip the pillow to the cool side.
A classic move.
Then you realize it's flattened out in the middle, creating a crater. So you fold it in half to manufacture some artificial height.
Yeah.
Then that folded edge creates a hard point against your jaw, so you punch the center to redistribute the filling.
And then what?
Or worse, you end up stacking 2 or 3 thinning pillows on top of each other, trying to build a makeshift ramp just to find an angle that doesn't hurt your neck.
Yeah.
It's a continuous, subconscious negotiation all night long.
And that nighttime dance you are describing is the absolute clearest indicator of a failing sleep tool.
Because you shouldn't have to fight your pillow.
Exactly. Structurally, traditional pillows force sleepers into 2 problematic extremes. down and polyfill pillows flatten out and bunch up, becoming way too soft.
Right.
This allows that heavy head to sink far too deeply, effectively throwing the neck into a sharp downward angle that compresses the lower side of the cervical spine.
So that's the crater effect.
Yes. And conversely, overly stuffed, cheap foam pillows are too firm and don't yield at all.
Which forces the neck upward into an unnatural strained angle.
Precisely.
So you're either sinking into a ditch or propped up on a concrete block. Neither of those is going to keep a spine straight.
And beyond the materials losing shape, those standard rectangular pillows suffer from a fundamental conceptual flaw. They are uniform shapes trying to solve a dynamic problem.
Okay, meaning what?
They completely ignore the reality that everyone's body is built differently and everyone sleeps differently.
Right, let's break that down because sleep isn't static.
Mm.
You have side sleepers, back sleepers, and combination sleepers who are, tossing and turning, rolling from their side to their back all night long.
Exactly.
The sheer physical geometry and the pressure placed on the neck is completely different in each of those scenarios.
Consider the geometry of a side sleeper. When you lie on your side, your shoulder creates a substantial gap, usually 4 to 6 inches between the mattress and your ear.
Okay, yeah.
A side sleeper needs a high, firm profile to fill that specific gap so the head doesn't collapse downward.
That makes sense.
What
about a back sleeper?
Well, consider a back sleeper. The gap between the cervical curve of the neck and the mattress is only an inch or two, so a back sleeper needs a much lower profile.
Otherwise, a high pillow will push their chin directly into their chest.
Exactly, which restricts their airway. A generic flat rectangle simply cannot effectively support those wildly different anatomical needs. It is a one-size-fits-all solution for a complex biomechanical problem.
It's like trying to wear a one-size-fits-all pair of running shoes.
Oh, that's a good way to put it.
Right. Sure, it technically covers your foot, but if you try to run a marathon in it, it's going to ruin your stride, give you blisters, and eventually destroy your knees.
100%.
So if flat, generic pillows are actively working against our anatomy, causing silent muscle strain and those micro-awakenings, we have to look at the alternative. And here's where it gets really interesting.
The shift toward ergonomic solutions.
Exactly. Specifically looking at the design of the Derila Memory Foam Pillow we found in the deep dive sources. It's described as utilizing a butterfly-shaped ergonomic structure.
The shape is the defining characteristic of ergonomic support here.
I have to be honest, though. Butterfly-shaped immediately sets off my marketing buzzword alarms.
Well, sure, I get that.
When I look at contour pillows with these weird wings and divots, they look almost like medieval torture devices, or, at best, incredibly restrictive molds. Like, I don't want to feel locked into a foam cast all night.
Right.
So how does a butterfly shape actually translate to real physical support without being a trap?
It is a totally fair skepticism, especially if you are used to a malleable feather pillow that you can bunch up. But in the realm of biomechanics, form has to follow function.
Okay.
Let's look at the anatomy of that butterfly shape. Unlike a flat rectangle that pushes against you, the contour structure of the Derila is engineered with a central depression, a cervical cradle, and raised edges or wings.
A cervical cradle.
Yes. It is designed to work synergistically with the natural curves of the human body, rather than forcing the body to adapt to a flat plane.
Okay, so map that onto the body for me. What is that central cradle actually doing?
If you are on your back, the back of your skull rests securely in that central depression, preventing the head from rolling side to side.
Right.
But more importantly, the curved ridge just below that depression slides perfectly into the cervical lordosis.
The cervical lordosis, that's the natural inward curve of your neck, right?
Exactly. It supports the skeletal structure of the neck from underneath without pushing the heavy skull too far forward. It dramatically reduces pressure points because the weight is distributed along the entire cervical spine, not just balanced on one single point of contact.
I see. So it's accommodating the curve of the neck rather than fighting it. But what about the material itself?
The memory foam.
Yeah, the Derila is made of memory foam. And my pushback here is that people generally associate memory foam with heat-trapping density.
That's a common misconception with older foams.
Right. Or, conversely, they think a good pillow must be incredibly soft. Like they want the feeling of sleeping on a cloud. Doesn't memory foam just compress into a hard brick or get too hot?
The distinction between softness and support is crucial here, and it's where older pillow designs completely fail.
Okay, how so?
Well, sleeping on a cloud sounds poetic, but a cloud provides zero structural integrity for a 12-pound bowling ball.
Fair point.
The goal of an ergonomic tool isn't purely softness. The goal is structured, adaptive support. The memory foam utilized in modern designs like the Derila is viscoelastic. It reacts to both your body weight and your body heat.
Viscoelastic meaning it flows somewhat like a liquid under pressure, but maintains the elasticity to push back.
Exactly. When you lay your head down, the open cell foam doesn't just indiscriminately collapse under the pressure like standard polyester filling does.
Because of the body heat?
Right. As it absorbs your body heat, it softens slightly, contouring precisely to your unique jawline, neck, and shoulder shape. It distributes that 10 to 12 pounds evenly across a much wider surface area.
Now that makes sense.
This prevents the excessive bottoming out sinking we see in old pillows while maintaining a consistent upward resistance to stabilize the head.
So it absorbs the heavy weight of the skull, but pushes back just enough against the neck to keep everything flush and elevated.
And that leads directly to the core benefit, achieving a neutral sleeping posture. Because the foam and the ergonomic shape are handling all the stabilization work, your physical body gets the signal that it is safe.
Meaning those overworked neck and shoulder muscles, the ones pulling the isometric night shift,
Yeah.
can finally clock out.
Yes, they are given mechanical permission to release their tension and actually recover.
That is the biological jackpot right
It
there.
really is. When posture improves and neutral alignment is achieved, muscle strain drops to near zero. Your nervous system stops detecting tension, the micro-awakenings cease, and you are finally able to descend into and remain in the deep delta wave stages of sleep.
I want to circle back to the shape for a second, though, because we talked about side sleepers and back sleepers. What about the people constantly tossing and turning?
The combination sleepers.
Yeah, the combination sleepers. If I start on my back in that central cradle, but then roll over onto my side at 3 a.m., doesn't that butterfly shape punish me? Do I have to wake up and perfectly align myself into the side sleeping zone of the pillow?
No, not at all. If we connect this to the bigger picture of sleep movement, a good ergonomic tool has to be dynamic. This is the advantage of those butterfly wings you mentioned earlier.
Okay.
The contour-based design naturally accommodates movement. When you roll from your back to your side, you naturally move out of the central depression and onto the elevated side wings of the pillow.
Oh, I see.
Those wings are physically taller, which perfectly accommodates that 4 to 6 inch shoulder gap we discussed. It provides the necessary extra height for side sleeping without requiring you to wake up, grab the pillow, fold it in half, or shove your arm under it to build height.
It naturally fills the void no matter which way you turn. It adapts to you, rather than you having to wake up and manually adapt the pillow. That is a massive paradigm shift in how we approach our beds. Bringing this entire deep dive back to your bedroom tonight. So what does this all mean? We look at human behavior, and it is so profoundly contradictory.
In what way?
We will eagerly drop $100 on cooling sheets. We will install custom blackout curtains. We will download subscription-based sleep tracking apps on our phones to monitor our heart rate. And we will finance the most expensive hybrid mattress in the store.
But we treat the pillow like an afterthought.
Yes, we treat the pillow like it's just a decorative fabric accessory meant to match the duvet cover. We buy cheap, worn-out, flat rectangles and expect them to perform a highly critical biomechanical structural job.
It is a total misalignment of health priorities. Your pillow is not an accessory. It is a vital piece of anatomical equipment.
Anatomical equipment. I love that phrasing.
It's true. It directly supports one of the most sensitive, neurologically dense, and mechanically vulnerable parts of your entire body. Your cervical spine and your brainstem. If your neck is misaligned, compressing nerves and straining muscles, you are effectively undermining and sabotaging the benefits of every other expensive sleep upgrade you have made in that room.
It doesn't matter how perfectly dark and quiet the room is, or how breathable your sheets are, if your spine is twisted at a 30-degree angle for 8 hours.
It really doesn't. So my advice to you tonight as you go to bed is to pay close attention to the physical feedback your body is giving you. Pay attention to the subtle signs of poor sleep posture.
What should they look out for?
When you get into bed and turn the lights out, actively notice what you have to do to get comfortable. Are you sleeping on a flattened, lumpy mass?
Ugh, the worst feeling.
Do you have to constantly adjust your head position, tucking the edges of the pillow beneath your neck?
Right.
Are you stacking multiple pillows or wedging your arm under your head just to feel supported?
Don't ignore the nighttime dance. If you are folding and punching, your pillow has already failed you.
Do not ignore it, because those small nightly discomforts might seem minor or just slightly annoying in the moment. You might think it's just part of falling asleep.
Right?
But those micro strains compound over weeks, months, and years. They slowly degrade your long-term sleep architecture and actively contribute to chronic physical pain.
Wow.
Comfort, especially structural comfort, is not just about feeling cozy under the covers. It is a fundamental, non-negotiable part of physical recovery.
It is the missing piece of the puzzle for so many people who think they're doing everything right. Sometimes the absolute simplest upgrade, literally just throwing away the flat rectangle under your head and replacing it with an ergonomic tool engineered for actual human anatomy, like the Derila pillow we talked about,
Yeah,
is the one change that finally moves the needle.
absolutely.
And I want to leave you with one final, slightly alarming thought to ponder tonight as you lay your head down. We established that your head is basically a 12-pound bowling ball.
The heavy bowling ball.
Right. If you are using an unsupportive generic pillow that lets your head sink awkwardly, your neck and shoulder muscles have to actively fire and stabilize that weight to protect your spinal cord for 8 straight hours. Does that mean, effectively, that your physical body is running a low-level, continuous isometric workout all night long, desperately trying to keep your spine safe while your brain is trapped inside, just trying to get some rest?
It's a terrifying thought.
No wonder you're waking up exhausted. You didn't sleep. You spent 8 hours holding up a bowling ball.
Time to upgrade.
It is definitely time to upgrade the lawn chair.